Okay, Mega here. Welcome to another Hades Omega Moto Suron video. All right. So today's video is going to be about how to change the belt on your Suron Light Bee. So if you've been keeping up with my channel, the last thing that happened to my Suron Light, and I haven't been able to ride it for like 2 weeks. So some of the teeth came off of my belt. So I'm going to go replace it with this belt right here. If you guys want to know some more info on how I got this belt and where I got this belt, I'll have a separate video I'll put it in the description, and I'll put it at the end, a link at the end of the video if you guys want to find out where I got this belt. You can also get them from Lunicycle. They're around $40, $50. I actually bought one from Lunicycle, but I haven't got it yet. So, and this one came from UK, by the way. Yeah, so, I highly suggest you have a spare belt lying around, so that way if you don't get any downtime like Hades Omega is. These belts are not very easy to find. You kind of have to get them at like a Suron, people that sell Suron stuff. And if they're out of stock, yeah, if they're out of stock of this, you know, when your belt breaks, then you're kind of screwed. You know, your bike ain't going anywhere. You have to buy like a chain conversion kit maybe or something if they have that available. So I highly suggest you have a spare belt lying around. So that's why I ordered the other one from Lunicycle. So I have a spare belt just in case something was to happen to this. And Hades Omega's belt lasted him about 2 years, about 2,000 or 3,000 miles, something around that is how many miles I have on my bike. So that's some quick info there. There is a very good video by Suron. It's called their channel is called Suron Official, I think. And they made a video on how to change the belt on this bike. It's kind of like a quick kind of video just to show you how it is. It doesn't look very hard to do, so I'm gonna go a little bit more in depth. The farthest I will go is I'm gonna swap the Supermoto wheel out, so I probably won't get the wheel installation. Okay, but yeah, so that's that I'm gonna cover that. So you're gonna need a belt. This is it's an HTD 8M 560 millimeter belt that has 70 teeth. This one is 17 millimeters wide. It'll work anywhere from like 15 to 17 millimeters. Okay. Generally, this kind of belt comes in 12 and 20 millimeters. So it's a special belt. So the pulley is only so wide. Okay. And you can, like I said, you can find these at Lunicycle and e-Bikezilla, but they don't have it right now as of this video. So, okay, you're gonna want like a torque wrench or something for when you put everything back together. This is what I'm gonna use, a torque adapter, a digital torque adapter. You're gonna want wrenches. In this case, I'm gonna use a torque impact gun just to remove stuff. Okay, and maybe quickly put stuff back on, but not torque it. Okay. You're going to need Allen wrenches. I think I have like a 5 and a 6 millimeter. Those are the ones that you're going to want. And then you're going to need a special tool to take the nut off for the swing arm. I think you can use ones for like a Honda. I'm not 100% sure. There's another way you can do it. You can use so basically the swing arm bolt is like, it's like an axle for your swing arm basically. And it has this funky looking bolt on it. And I made this, okay? So Hades Omega made this. So if you guys want to find out how I made this, I use a 3/4 inch socket and I cut it down so like it would fit in the holes. But one of the 4 holes doesn't match up properly. But I tested it and it will take the nut off. Okay? So if you want to learn how to make this guy, I will put a link in the description of this video also. And another video at the end of all the videos, okay? So the link will be at the end of the video. Alright, so that's your special swing arm nut tool. And then you're going to need a 17 millimeter socket to take the wheel off, and I don't know if you really have to take the wheel off, but I'm going to take it off because I have to take it off anyway. So, and then and you need a 12 millimeter to take the what's the word, the linkage off. You have to take the linkage part. Okay. So, and while we're in there, we can go grease some of the linkage and all that stuff. So I've never messed with it, so maybe this is a good time to be able to do some maintenance on that kind of stuff. Okay, and then you're going to need something to hold your bike up. So I got a jack right here, right behind me. My new Harbor Freight 1,500 pound aluminum fancy jack. So, all right, let's get started before it gets too dark. Hopefully this doesn't take too long. All right, so like I said, this is going to be a kind of more in-depth video than the Sauron one, but the Sauron one is pretty good. I watched it again and I was like, yeah, okay, I can do it. My bike is a little different than a stock Sauron, also, by the way. So, in the Sauron video, they took the skid plate out. I don't think we need to take the skid plate out. I'm going to leave the skid plate in because the jack is going to be holding it up on the skid plate. That's the problem. So. Alright, so first thing you're going to want to do is get your bike up on a jack of some sort and get the wheels off the ground. Use a kind of dirt bike stand, or I'm going to use a ATV / motorcycle jack right there. Okay. My first time using it, I'm so excited to use it. So let's use it. Okay. You're going to want at least the rear wheel off the ground. But I guess the higher the better, so it'll be a little easier to work with. Okay, so I'm going to lift it up all the way. Okay? Alright. Bike's up in the air. I'm going to take this jack handle out so it's not in the way. Okay. So let's begin. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cover off for the belt, because that's obviously where we're going to be working. I think they took the skid plate off in the video, but as you can see, there's plenty of space to work around here. This is the Race Spec Sauron bash plate, by the way, so I don't know if I don't have the stock one on there, so it might be a little different. If you have to, take the skid plate out. But I'm just gonna. So you need a 4 millimeter Allen wrench to take out the screws that hold the cover. There's 2 of them. Take out this Sauron cover here. Okay. Sure you don't lose the screws. They're pretty special screws. You're not going to be able to use them anywhere else. So, okay, you can't mix them up. Okay, cover comes off. Just kind of slip it off. All right, and then I can already see the damaged belt already. So this is how my belt got damaged. The teeth came off of it. So there's supposed to be teeth here, but there's no teeth. It's just smooth. But if you move the pulley a little bit, you can see there's some teeth here. So it's a pretty good belt. So it did its job for a while. All right, so okay. So now the next thing to do is to take the wheel off. And you can see how loose the belt is. The belt is a little, well, obviously it's kind of loose because the teeth are missing, you know. Yeah, the belt was pretty loose. That's probably why I broke it. So you're definitely going to want to. It's also a Conti Tech belt. Just gonna look in there. So that's a Continental belt. It's a timing belt. Is basically what it is. Okay. Hopefully it didn't damage the teeth on the sprocket, and it doesn't look like it. Okay. So all right. Next thing to do, we'll take the wheel off. I don't think you have to take the wheel off, but I have to anyways, and they did it in the video. And also, you're going to have to take the chain off for one thing. So you don't have to remove the chain, but I'm going to remove the chain because I'm going to put the Supermoto setup on, okay? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do, since I got to remove the chain, I'm going to go ahead and remove the chain first. I'm going to mark the chain so I put it on the correct way the next time I put it back on. Sometimes I don't know if I'm putting this on the right way. I'm just going to put up here, or I'm going to put an up arrow. Okay. That way I know this is the outside of the chain, and it should be facing up when it's on the top of the sprocket, okay, or outward. that's the way I will be able to remember it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take my chain off. You don't have to take the chain off. In the video they didn't, but I am going to do it. It should make it a little easier too. So I got some master link pliers here. I'm going to take the master link out. So this is the master link clip. It's kind of a pain in the ass to get out on this. There we go. Okay. Take it out. There's the clip. There's the outer plate, or one of the side plates. I should probably clean this chain before I take it out. Okay, we're going to take that plate off. The good thing is it's not all greasy and stuff, so my hands don't get dirty. Okay, I'm going to take the master link off now. Also, what you want to do if you take the if you do mess around with your tension here, make sure you take best thing to do is take a picture of where the mark is on the what is this called, the adjustment block, where it is in relation to where the other ones are. So that way when you're putting everything back together, you remember like where it was, so you don't lose your tension, or else you'll be playing around with the tension all night trying to get the right tension. So it's better if you record it. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're gonna take the chain off. Okay, master link off. Make sure you put that someplace safe. Okay, take the chain off. Okay, there it goes. I'm gonna go move the camera a little bit, and I'm just gonna pull it. Oh yeah, it's gonna be kind of hard to get out because there's no thing on the belt. Okay, I'm gonna pull it from this direction because it won't let me pull it anymore because we're missing some teeth on the belt. Push it. Okay, I gotta pull it really hard. You can take it out from either way. Okay. If you have some trouble rotating the thing, you can pull on the pulley. Okay. So I got the chain right here, and I'll put that someplace safe on the ground, basically. Okay. Now that I got the chain out, we can pretty easily get the wheel off. We don't have to mess around with the adjustments at all. Okay. So we're gonna get a 17 millimeter. A socket is probably best, and we're gonna remove the nut, and then you should have a 6 millimeter on the other side. You guys can't see it, but I'm holding it with a 6 millimeter T handle on the other side. The 6 millimeter Allen dealy. Okay. Okay. It's just to keep it from spinning. Okay. There's the nut. Put that someplace safe. Yeah, you're probably going to have to take the adjustment block off and push it out, hold it up. Let me move the camera to the other side so you can see what I'm doing with the brake. So I'm going to push the axle out. Okay, axle's out, and then you're going to pull the wheel up and then take this brake caliper off. Okay, and then just let it hang there. Alright, then the wheel should just come right out. It's no chain, so I don't have to worry about that. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to disconnect the swing arm linkage, the suspension linkage for the swing arm. So to do that, we need a 6 millimeter right here, 6 millimeter Allen right there on that bolt, and then you're going to need a 12 millimeter on the opposite side. Okay, right here. So we're going to remove the center bolt right here. So there's 3 bolts. There's one on top, one on the bottom, one goes to the shock, one goes to this linkage that's on the frame, and then one goes to the swing arm. We need to take out the one that's on the swing arm. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get my 12 millimeter socket out. Okay, and we're going to gun it out. Okay, nut comes out. Make sure you keep that someplace safe, and then you're going to take the bolt out. Before you take the bolt out, pull up on the swing arm a little bit to relieve some pressure on it, because it's just going to drop. And you might have to hit it with something. Let me go get a hammer. Let's see if we can do it without the hammer first. So what I'm going to do is on the other side, I got my T handle right here, okay? I'm just going to turn it left and right and push it.
or you can turn it counterclockwise and it should come out. It's like kind of inching its way out. Okay, trying to move it, it's not coming out. Okay, here what we can do, okay, I'm going to get a punch and punch out that bolt. At some point the swing arm will probably just drop, so what I'm going to try to do is, like, I got my knee up on the swing arm right here, so just in case it doesn't just suddenly drop on me. Boom. Okay, there we go. And then the swing arm should just drop. I think you gotta have your kickstand down because it kind of hits the kickstand, kind of hits it. Okay, and then it's free. So make sure you don't lose any of this stuff here. You probably want, when you put this stuff back, you're probably gonna want to grease it. We're already here, so might as well. All right, so the swing arm is almost kind of totally free. Next thing to take out is this nut here, so we can take the swing arm pivot axle bolt out thing. So next thing we got to do is take the swing arm pivot out. Do that. We're going to use some kind of socket and my special socket tool. Okay. There's another way you can do this. I will show you, but I'm not going to use it because I don't know how you're going to torque it. Maybe it works the other way too, but what you can do is get some needle nose pliers if you don't have a special tool, and then stick it in the holes here, okay, so it doesn't move, and then you loosen it from the other end. But I'm going to try to loosen the nut first. I know it works because I've done it. I've already done it. So, all right, so I'm going to get my special tool here. The other side, I'll show you what the other side looks like real quick. So this is what the other side looks like. It's a 6mm, I think. Oh no, it's not. It's a 5. Use even a smaller one. Yeah, you're going to strip it even more if you torque it from there. Okay, yeah. So there's a 5mm on this side. I'm going to hold it on this side, and then I'm going to use a tool on the other side. So we may not even need to move this at all. I'm not sure. So, but we get the nut out first. Okay, here we go. Meg is venturing into unexplored territory here. Hopefully my little tool works. Yes, it does. It doesn't break. Make sure your bike is kind of secure. Okay. Okay. It's kind of, my tool is kind of scratching the frame a little bit. Okay. From this point, I'm just going to loosen it from the other side. It's pretty easy. Okay. When you get to a certain point, you can just take it out by hand. So, you just need this to kind of like get rid of all that torque, you know. Okay. So there's the nut right there. Okay. It's aluminum, so it strips really easy. Put that someplace safe. And then what we're going to do is remove the swing arm pivot. So I'm going to pull the bolt out from the other end, and this thing is just going to flop down. And that's how you remove the belt. Also, yeah, before we do anything, let's loosen the motor mount there, or the belt tensioning mounts. To do that, you need a 6mm. Loosen this one here, and I think this one, and this one has got to come loose. Okay. Ooh, wow. Okay. Washer fell out. It's kind of seized. Ow, ow. Ow, ow. Okay. nothing is pressing on the motor right now. Okay, and we're going to loosen this one. Okay. Ow. Oh my god. It's a little tight. If you're having trouble, use a bigger Allen wrench. Okay, just loosen them, you don't have to take them out. On this side, we're going to remove this right here. The tensioning thing is right here, so I'm not really sure how you're supposed to tension this sucker now. Okay, and then there's another one right here. You gotta take it. Oh my god. Okay, if you're having trouble, you're really tight, man. Having trouble. Get one of these guys so you can get more torque. Man, it's probably because my bike is kind of old, you know? Okay. Sure all of those are loose, then you should be able to tighten your belt. This guy here. I don't really know how though. Oh yeah, like that. Oh, I see. Well, it's kind of stuck now. So now the belt got tighter. Oh, I see. That's why they want you to remove the skid. If your skid plate is touching your motor, it may affect the way the belt is torqued. So that's an interesting pulley. It's like they just made an outside pulley and an inside pulley, and then they welded the outside pulley to the inside pulley because there's a bunch of spot welds on it, man. It's kind of. The heck, dude? That's kind of okay. Whatever. Kind of ghetto. Okay. So what you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to loosen the motor. I believe. Okay. Yeah. I believe you're gonna want to push this up. You're gonna want to push the motor up a little bit. We're gonna try to pull on the pulley and pull up on the whole motor. Oh, nope. Nope. That doesn't work. You might have to get something and put it underneath the motor. Okay, anyway, I think the belt might be loose enough to take it out. I think once you take this out, it's loose enough to take the belt out. That's what they did in the video, so. Alright, so we're gonna focus on this side now because this is where the primary drive belt is. So we're going to remove the swing arm bolt now. Since there's no weight on it, it should just come right out, right? Okay, there we go. Boom, came out. There's no lube, there's hardly any lube on it. I can feel some, but not a whole lot. Still really clean in there, by the way. Alright, so probably want to just move the pulley just enough to remove the belt. So the belt is really loose now. You can take it out. Okay. Okay. You're going to have to actually take everything out too, by the way. You got to take the jack shaft out. So here's what's going on here. So this pulley, the big pulley is coming out now. Okay, so go ahead and kind of, you gotta kind of pull it out a little bit. I'm pulling the swing arm up a little bit, and try to get the belt out of there. You don't really need to take the jack shaft out, or the drive shaft, but you've got to get the belt away from it. So that's why it kind of has to come out. You got to take it out. So I got the swing arm up all the way. I just took the whole thing out. Okay, boom, there it is. So this is what comes out. So this is what your jack shaft assembly looks like. Okay, so this is the damage that happened to my belt. We'll go take a look at it later, but it is a ContiTech belt, as you can see. HTD 588M. Okay, so chuck that. If you want to, you can clean this up. It's actually pretty clean. The inside is really clean. All I would do is just put extra grease on the axle, okay, and then inspect the pulley to make sure you didn't damage it. It looks fine to me. Yeah, it looks fine. Okay. You also probably want to check the one that's on the motor too. So let's take a look at the one on the motor real quick. So just take a look at the one on the motor. You can pretty easily spin the motor now. Okay. It looks fine. I don't see any damages on it, so it's okay. So we don't have to take it out. And they don't have to take it out and replace it. So the pulley is much more stronger than the belt. So that's good. Okay. This would be a good time to replace your countershaft sprocket on your secondary drive. If it's messed up, this one looks like I think it's still okay. Let me go see. I got a brand new one. Okay, I got a brand new countershaft sprocket, and this is my old countershaft sprocket, right next to each other. And it looks like, I don't know. You know what? This is a good opportunity to change it out. Should I change it? I don't know. That's a good question, man. It looks like it's still okay. I don't think I would change it yet. But like I said, this is a good opportunity to change it because we're already here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and change it, man. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and change it. There's some bearings here too. Hopefully they're still good. Yeah, there's some bearings here and here. There's some there's a spacer here and here, so do not lose those. Make sure you put them back if they fall out. I'd imagine you can probably just pull them out. I'm not going to pull them out, dude. And then these are bolts that hold this here. So if you need to take any of this stuff apart, you would just take all this out. Okay. I think I might change it. I'm already here, you know. The Lunicycle assured me that they told me like it will last the life of the bike, and it looks like it's okay. It's still got plenty of life left in it, but like I'm already here. Some of them are like smaller than each other. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Some of them are thick, and some of them are thin. Thick, thin, thick, thin. It's kind of weird. It's like wearing weirdly, not even. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace it. Okay, so